Hey guys, welcome to Poetry Day 4. Today we're going to explore what makes a poem a poem. Think about it. What makes a poem a poem? Well, the answer to that question is its form. So let's go ahead and explore some of the poems that we've already read and see if you can notice a difference in the way that they are presented. So remember this poem by John Updike, September? Have a look at this. Look at the form. What do you notice about this poem in the way in which it's written? Well, it has 4 stanzas. 1, 2, 3, 4. The lines are not very long. And I noticed that each stanza has 4 lines, and every other line is offset. So you have one line on the margin, the next line is offset. One line on the margin, the other is offset. So this poem has 4 stanzas, it has offset lines, and the lines are not very long. That is what makes the poem a poem, is the form of it. Okay, let's look at the sea. Remember this by Deborah Chandra? What do you notice about the form of this poem? Did you notice what I notice? It has 2 stanzas. 1, 2. The lines are a little longer, and each line is also offset. I also notice that each line starts with a capital letter, and that's what makes this poem a poem, is its form. Okay, let's review the next poem. Porch Light, also by Deborah Chandra. Now this one looks different. This poem looks like one stanza, and it has short lines. And I noticed that it's all on the same margin line. And the poet has decided to use a capital letter to start it, but then many of the other lines don't have capital letters until there's a period at the end of Yellow Fist. Then the poem starts with another capital letter and continues until there's a period. So it's as if this is one long sentence, right? But it's presented vertically, and then there's another sentence. So this is one stanza, and we could call it 2 sentences, and each line starts on the margin. Okay. Remember this one? A Child Frightened by a Thunderstorm by Ted Kooser? What do you notice about the way the form of this poem looks? Well, I notice that this is just one stanza, and Ted Kooser wrote this with longer lines. So each line in this poem has maybe 6 or 7 words. So, poets decide very intentionally how they want their poems to look, and that's what gives the poem its form. It also helps describe the meaning of the poem sometimes, and it helps the reader understand what the poem is supposed to mean, what it's supposed to convey. So today we're going to read two poems by the author Valerie Worth, and the first poem is called Fireworks. So as I read this, I want you to listen for sounds and images that help you imagine fireworks. First, a far thud. Then the rocket climbs the air. A dull red flare, to hang a moment, invisible, before its shut black shell cracks and claps against the ears, breaks and billows into bloom, spilling down clear green sparks, gold spears, silent sliding silver waterfalls and stars. Wow. Poets sometimes arrange words or letters in unusual ways to help communicate what the poem is about. So I want you to focus on that when you write your poetry today. Okay? Focus on the way in which your poem is written. Okay? Focus on the way that the words are arranged. Let's read the next poem by Valerie Worth. And this poem is called Flamingo. The flamingo lingers a long time over one pink leg. Later he ponders upon the other for a while instead. What do you notice about the shape of this poem? Well, when I'm looking at the flamingo, I notice that each stanza, I guess you could call like this left one a stanza and this be a second stanza. I notice that they're each one word. Each line is one word. And did you notice that it looks like a flamingo's leg? So, how does the shape help you imagine a flamingo? Well, hopefully, you would say the shape reminds you of a flamingo's leg. So, keeping that in mind, why do you think the poet might have shaped this poem this way? Why do you think the poet, Valerie Worth, shaped flamingo this way? So you might say, well, to help the reader imagine what the poem is about, right? It's talking about how the flamingo stands and lingers for a long time over one leg, and then later switches the leg, right? And so by writing the poem, the form of the poem, to represent the flamingo's leg, it helps the reader kind of imagine the words, right? So remember, poets think carefully about what their poems look like on the page, because the shape of a poem can help the reader understand what the poem is about. Okay, so for today, you guys are going to write a shape poem. So what I want you to do is take out a piece of paper or take out your computer document, and you're going to come up with ideas for a shape poem. All right, I'm going to clear this out of the way. And I decided to write a shape poem. And I thought, it would be kind of cool to write a poem about a truck. About my truck. I have a truck. So remember, your idea sheet is just for ideas. So you want to put down different arrangements of letters and words and kind of experiment with different ideas for how you're going to write your poem. Okay, the more you put down there, the more you'll have to work from. Okay, so don't just spend a minute or two, jot down some words, and then just jump right into your poem. I highly recommend that you really spend some time coming up with creative words or creative shapes and experiment with different ways that you could write it, okay, before you actually write your poem. So once you have your ideas written down, then you write your poem. So I'm just going to go over a couple of my initial ideas, and then I'll go over my poem with you. So initially I said, okay, I drew the shape of a truck because I'm going to write my poem in the shape of a truck. And then I was thinking, okay, what's the first thing that comes to mind? I just jump right into it. First thing that came to mind was the fat, thick, knobby tires. And then I was thinking how the bed of the truck can be very helpful, right? Because it helps people move things around. So I said it gladly carries loads upon loads. It doesn't care what you ask it to do. So now I'm trying to add some personification, right? I was trying to think the truck is very helpful. It doesn't care what you ask it to do. It's always ready. And then I thought, it'd be kind of cool if this was written as a child asking the truck questions and the truck revealing answers, right? So I wrote that on the bottom there. A child wonders and the truck responds. And then I started writing my poem, and then I was like, okay, this could be like the body, and then I started making a tire, and then I kind of went up, so like, oh, okay, I'm running out of space. But I was experimenting with different arrangements, okay? So you can see that's my start for ideas. Then I kept going, and I tried to put it together, okay? And so I started with some questions, and I thought, okay, let's start with this. Are you strong? Very strong. Are you fast? Very fast. I have the power of 400 horses. Then on the tire here it said, are you nice? Very nice indeed. Have you traveled? Oh, I've been to exotic places. This truck has been to many different places, in fact. I lost my train of thought. I said, are you... Oh, yeah, I'm very strong. I can carry 12,000 pounds. Right, and then, are you fast? So I'm going through this and, putting my poem together, asking questions. So then I said, okay, I think I'm ready. I'm going to give it another shot. And so this is the poem that I wrote here. And I don't know. I guess I'll just... So that's what it looks like. I'm not sure if I, change the view to a wide view, if you'll be able to see it. So that's the whole view. And now I'll read it to you, okay? So it starts out. Are you strong? Very strong. I can carry 12,000 pounds. Are you fast? Very fast. I have the power of 400 horses. Where have you traveled? Many exotic places I have been to. Are you nice? I protect all who ride with me. Will you take me for a ride? Anytime. So that's my poem for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with because you are so creative and such a great artist. Looking forward to reading it, looking forward to seeing it. Have a great day. Ciao.